We are live. I think we'll start. Ma'am, we are going to launch. Sir, we are going to launch. All the best, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, she will launch now. Rashna started?
Yes.
Good evening to one and all present here on this webinar floor. I'm Rajula, the Regional Manager for Globathic South Asia Center, Bangalore. It's an international forum committed to ethics in higher education. To know more about Globathics, you can log on to the website www.globathics.net and take the free subscription to start getting the newsletter that will bring a lot of information for teachers, research scholars, and higher education institutions. We wholeheartedly thank you for joining us for the second day of the FDP on ethics and values for teaching professional and administrator. This online FDP is a joint effort of the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Rani Anna Government College of Women, Tirunelveli, and the Globathics Academy based in Geneva, Switzerland. We thank each and every one of you for joining us for the second day of the webinar. And today's talk will be done by Dr. D.R. Goodwin. I would like to remind all of you to complete the questionnaire survey that is supposed to be completed before the FDP by your registered email. Some of you have submitted. I request each and every one of you to submit the survey so that it will be useful for the speakers to know what to address, where are the gaps, things like that. If you have done it, kindly ignore. And also there will be a survey after the FDP, after all the 7 days over. And you're supposed to complete that as well. Then you will receive the feedback link. And when you submit the feedback, you'll get your certificate. And we're recording this event, and you can ask for the link to watch and share it with others. And please use the chat box to introduce yourself, your institution name, where you come from, your country, etc., so that we can recognize from where you are attending the meeting. And yesterday you had come out with a lot of questions. We had tried our level best to answer as many questions as were possible yesterday. And today also we request all of you to put the questions using the Q&A box. And once again, I extend a warm welcome to the panelists here and to each and every one of you. I'm sure you will have meaningful learning today. Having said that, I hand over the time to Dr. Darling Selvi.
Good evening and a warm welcome to all panelists and the valuable participants of today. I am Dr. Darling Selvi, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of PG and Research Department, Rani Anna Government College for Women, Tirunelveli. Once again, I extend a warm greetings to each and every one of you for your valuable presence here in the online platform. This international faculty development program on ethics and values for teaching professionals and administrators is bringing together people from academia, academic circles, faculty members from various disciplines and capacities, academic administrators, and research scholars of various fields across the country and even outside. This online faculty development programs comes out with a methodology to empower teachers at higher education institutions to stand by their commitment to ethics by giving them focused and customized training to explore and capacitate to create an ecosystem to promote ethics in higher education, aligning the most needed National Education Policy 2020 goals. Therefore, a faculty development program is designed to achieve that particular goal where a faculty becomes an active partner as well as custodian. With that intention, Raniana Government College for Women has collaborated with Globethics to effect this transformation and collaborates on the journey to promote ethics in higher education, which is the need of the hour. It is a journey only and not the destination. We are the travelers for the same. We hope you will find the faculty development program fruitful and engaging. I'm sure it's going to be a great time of interaction and learning for all of us. We need your valuable interactions by way of asking questions too. So today, as the second day, we are going to listen the second presentation by Dr. R.D. Godwin. Dr. R.D. Godwin is currently the principal, VVS PG College, Benaya Group of Educational Institutions, Rajamundry. He previously associated with Geetham University, Visakhapatnam, ICFA University, Hyderabad, and GET University, Rajamundry. Dr. Godwin is passionate and dedicated professional with extensive experience in teaching, training, and administration. He has organized several conferences, seminars, and training programs and consultancy projects and has been the editor for institutional newsletters too. His core competencies are teaching and mentoring and consulting, student management, etc., etc. His professional accomplishments are signing MOUs with GSK SmithKline Limited, Junior Chamber International, JCI Rajamundry Chapter, and Shelton Journal of GET, Geetham News, and Geetham Institutions. He has published articles in national and international journals with Scopus and UGC CARE journals. Topics of publications are in the fields of education and granting, ecotourism, then FMCG sector, fast-moving consumer goods sector, then patent authorship for 2 articles too. That is a great credential for any academician. He has the life member of Indian Society for Training and Development, ISTD Visakhapatnam chapter. Then he is here to speak about the understanding role of custodianship, tools and collaborations of higher educational institutions. So we welcome you, sir, happily for this forum. So let's all a virtual round of applause and a hearty welcome to Dr. Godwin.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome you again, sir. We have our August participants. So the session is yours now. Take it up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Usually the speakers get question after they complete their talk, but before you begin, already there are questions in the Q&A box. There are 3 questions. You can answer after your presentation, sir. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. A very good evening to all the participants and extend warm welcome for my session here. I will be handling a session on ethics with respect to the role of custodianship, and the various tools that are required to effectively implement and execute ethical procedures and processes in institutions. What actually the custodians have to look forward for. That will be the focus of my presentation today. We once again thank the Globethics and the Raniana College for giving me this opportunity, for having me for this seminar. It was very, I'm very privileged and very honored for both the institutes, prestigious institutes, for inviting me for this session. I again thank you, Madam, and Dr. Selvi, and Rajula madam, and
Mm.
all the participants who are actually taking part from various parts of India as well as abroad, I suppose. I extend a warm welcome to this presentation. Madam, can we go for the PPT, please?
Sure, sir.
Before I start this PPT presentation, I would like to just simply put forward a simple question. This is as I was telling that this session is about understanding the role of custodianship. Now, we all know who is a custodian and who actually takes the role of custodian to safeguard this kind of very crucial and important aspect of any educational institutions to flourish and fruitfully and to the benefit of maximum segment of the people. So my simple question here would be, whom do you think in a particular college, for any college or any institution, whom do you think will be having the primary and more significant custodian role? Whom do you think, whom do you guess will be having very important role, very significant role, uh, primarily? Whom do you consider to take up this custodianship? Can the participants just float there? Yeah, principal. Deval from Professor Deval, I think the panelist is saying principal, teachers, and any WhatsApp group. Good. Fine. All higher authorities, head of institutions and faculty members. Okay. From John Kennedy, sir, you are the teachers. Okay, Mahesh, there's 10 teachers. Okay, fine. Fine, very nice. Thank you for giving wonderful answers. Fine. I I I I I very much agree with you. Yes, whatever you said is right. About all that, I would say this is my thing. Like I would say that the institution has to play the custodian role. The institution, the management, or the top people who actually handle the whole administration, that that entity has to have a very important role in taking up this custodianship role. I suppose that because um, unless and until they have a particular tempo, they have a particular aim and goal, they have a particular objective that this particular institution, this particular college or university has to be run in this particular way, which they consider according to their guidelines and their philosophy. This is best way. This is the ethical way. This is the more important, valuable way that I want to run my institution. That I want to conduct every procedure and every policy of my organization in this particular way. If they lay down that kind of a culture, if they lay down that kind of a atmosphere and create an environment in the organization, in the institution, or in the college or in the university, whatever the entity is, now that will make you things fall in line. That will make you things fall in actually what they objective way they are expecting to go forward. So that is what I mean to say. So first and foremost, I feel that the institution, the management, the top-notch people have to take up the role of custodianship. So that is what I want to say. Now, what is this custodianship of ethics? In higher education institutions, it plays a very critical role, in shaping the academic environment. The whole environment of any institution is actually shaped with this custodian role, which guides, the behavior of the students, the faculty, the administrators, the staff, and the whole gambit of people who are involved in the institution are actually guided by this custodianship role. It involves also maintaining and promoting ethical standards, which actually govern the decision making, research, teaching, and all interactions within the academic community. So this is what is actually the underlining role of a custodianship is, and the objective is how they will ensure the integrity of educational practices. That comes as the foremost important element of this particular custodianship. Madam, can we go to the next slide, please? Now, let us understand briefly what is this custodian role of in an institution is. The first one is, as I was telling you, the policy development. The management has to develop policies taking into account all the stakeholders, their opinions and their values and their understanding of various things regarding their departments and all the sections of people. So policies are developed based on which the whole organization is going to run. So first and foremost, there should be a policy. There should be a policy about ethics, and that should be flowing down from top to the bottom, the policy. Second one is oversight and enforcement. How do you enforce it? Now, how do you enforce it is another important element that should be very well understood for a custodianship to be successful. So you have to have oversee all the things, and you have to enforce it. You should not neglect it. You should not take it for granted. You should not take it as just a formality. So please see that you are enforcing this particular policy and each and every department of the institution. So third one is very important one, accountability and transparency. Now, whom should be made accountable, and what is the transparency levels that is flowing down into different with respect to different aspects of the institution or the college or the university? So, what is the accountability levels? Whom should be made accountable, and what is accountability, and who is taking the responsibility of taking all these activities? So, you have to take accountability and understand the significance of transparency of your policies or your decisions or your actions, that each and every stakeholder should be understanding what is going in the organization, what is going in the institution, what is going in the university. So that kind of a transparency, when it is maintained, automatically the trust, the confidence, all these things will be, and integrity, all these things will be automatically built up in an organization, in an institution. So understanding the role of institutional custodianship starts with policy development, enforcement and overseeing it, and laying down the accountability roles and transparency levels. So these are the three important entities or elements to understand the role of an institutional custodianship. Madam, can we go to the next slide? Now, you have a wonderful quote here. Universities are are the custodians not only of the many cultures of man, but of the rational process itself, right? So uh, we all know that universities are actually giving you a lot of broad thinking and broad levels of understanding how you're going to live in the society, how you're going to build up your career, how you're going to lead your life. They are laying down the foundations actually based on various cultures, various policies and procedures, and various methods and methodologies, and various values and ethics. This will lay down each and every individual's thinking process in a particular and guide in a particular way. So this is where you understand the role of universities, the role of managements, the role of the top people, how they are actually playing the custodian role in maintaining the cultures and also developing rational process itself. But next slide, please. Now, with this brief introduction about how do you understand what is the importance of custodianship role, we'll move on to these tools of custodianship for ethics in higher education institutions. Now, what are the tools that you need to have to effectively implement this, ethical code of conducts or ethical processes or ethical methods, right? So you need to understand, what is you to understand is higher education institutions have a unique responsibility to uphold ethical standards and promote integrity. Now, yesterday also we have listened from our resource person, Dr. John Methuselah, how he has given the talked about importance of ethics in higher education and talked about the integrity, importance of integrity. Now, how do you promote integrity and also design strategies that that will empower faculty, staff, students, and other administrators to become ethical custodians of the academic community? Now I'm flowing down. I'm making it flow down from the top management, who are supposed to be taking the important role of custodianship. Now it flows down to the other levels. Now, the important transparency, important accountability, or important decision making of the top management is to ensure and see that they have developed strategies that will empower faculty, the staff, and the students, and also the administrators to become ethical custodians of the academic community. Now you can understand this ethical code of ethical values and ethical procedures are not only confined, or it is said to be followed by the top management, or said to be implemented by the top management, or it is not that. Now, each and every stakeholder, each and every person or individual who is involved in this academic community has a role to play in maintaining that or upholding that ethical standards or values in an institution. So it is not confined to management. Yes, it flows down to faculty, staff, students, administrators, and all the people who are involved in this academic community has a role in ensuring and saying that they are doing in a ethical manner or ethical way. Can we get to the next slide? Now, as far as I have found, I have just listed out, I have come out with some tools of custodianship. Now, many of you might be having some questions. Before I take up questions, because some of you some of your questions might get answered while I continue my presentation. You can find some answers in the presentation itself. Beyond that, if you still have some more questions, I will definitely take up at the end of the session so that we can have a one-to-one discussion or a one-to-one question and answer session. Right. So just please listen to this various aspects of my presentation. Maybe some of the deliberations will answer your questions as well. Now, what are the tools I just trying to bring here in is for as a custodianship to effectively implement the custodianship is first one, code of ethics and conduct. You need to have a wonderful code of ethics and conduct, ethical review committees, training and educational programs, whistleblower protection and reporting, ethics committees for decision making, student and faculty ombudsperson. Right? This is there may be so many others, but I just listing out some few which I'm thinking that this will be the wonderful tools. If they are effectively used, will give you efficient results, right? So we'll take one by one. What are the code of ethics and conduct, ethical review committees? I will try to give some information on these each tool of custodianship. Madam, can we go to the next slide, please? Madam, next slide. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, establishing a code of ethics. Establishing a code of ethics and conduct. A code of ethics and conduct. Now, the three important elements is, first one is purpose. What is the purpose of establishing a code of ethics and conduct? And what would be the contents? And how you're going to apply it? What is the application process of it? So this is, I would like to discuss briefly about that. Now, you know all that custodians of ethics and higher education institutions, they rely on variety of tools. You have variety of tools, and also you develop various strategies to ensure that these ethical standards are upheld across all aspects of academic life, right? Now, these tools will help and maintain academic integrity. The basic objective is to maintain academic integrity, guide ethical behavior, and promote a culture of accountability, as I told you. Now, the very first purpose is you have a written document outlining code of ethics and conduct. The purpose of code of ethics and conduct is a written document which will be outlining the ethical standards, what ethical standards you are trying to propose, and the behaviors and responsibilities expected from whom? The students, faculty, staff, and administrators, right? So the purpose is that you have a written document which will give you an outline of what ethical standards and behaviors and responsibilities are expected from students, faculty, staff, and administrators. No one is exception here, right? No one is excused. Second one is content. Now, it is typically which includes guidelines for academic integrity. The very important aspect in ethics is academic integrity in an institution. So guidelines for academic integrity, what are the research practices you're trying to forward for the faculty, and respectful behavior, non-discrimination, and conflict resolution. Now, the content will include all these aspects. Now, what is the research practices you're trying to propose? And what is the respectful behavior you're defining it? And a non-discrimination culture. You don't have any discrimination with respect to either any of the things like religion or caste or creed or color or region, whatever it is, non-discrimination. And how do you resolve the conflicts? Conflict resolution, right? That is another important element. So these are the contents of a particular code of ethics and the conduct. And the application part is now you have to apply it. The code is enforced through clear disciplinary procedures and serve as a reference point for resolving ethical issues. That is the important. Now, how many of you agree that there should be disciplinary procedures in all organizations? Do you agree? The participants. Now, what do you mean? What do you understand by disciplinary procedure? Is it positive or negative? When you are enforcing a clear disciplinary procedure with respect to the staff, with respect to the students, staff, administrators, and everyone in an organization, because unless there is discipline, things will not fall in line, right? So what do you think? Discipline means a positive aspect or a negative aspect? Wonderful, positive, Dr. Kennedy and Arun Roti. Right. Shane Patil, sir. Positive. Very good. Yes. Many of us, yes, all of you say is positive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, all the participants. Professor Mona Lisa, thank you. Right. It is a positive process. In fact, many of us think that when we utter this particular very word, discipline, it gives a negative impression. No, it is never a negative one. Disciplinary means actually putting the things in line, making the things happen as you plan. That is what is disciplinary procedure is. Unless many an organization use, just check with the most of the institutions which follow and which have a very strict disciplinary procedures, really flourish like anything. They really make a brand for themselves. You name various organizations, various institutions and colleges and universities where they have a particular disciplinary procedure or a disciplinary activity. They are the ones which have made a very good name in the society. So disciplinary procedures are very important, and because they serve as a reference point for resolving ethical issues. So this is what I would like to talk about: establishing a code of ethics and conduct. The first and foremost tool for custodianship. Unless you have a code of ethics, how do you take a disciplinary action, or how do you take a particular value content forward to the public, to the participants? That would not be that would not be possible. So first and foremost, establish a very clear code of ethics and conduct. Right now, let's move on to the second one. Madam, can we go to the next slide, please? Now, this is a wonderful quote. A lack of transparency results in distrust and deep sense of insecurity. Why most of the people actually don't believe in certain aspects of ethics, or disciplinary procedures or transparency activities, is because they don't trust. Simply, they don't trust the procedures we are following, the policies we are adopting. Maybe that is the problem. So whatever the policy you're framing, or whatever the procedure you're designing, and whatever the strategy you're developing for executing or implementing ethics, try to be transparent in that. So here, as one of the wonderful man says, a lack of transparency results in distrust and a deep sense of insecurity. Why most of the people don't come forward to tell their woes and problems, or any other insecurities, is because they lack trust. They lack trust, right? So be transparent. Madam, can we go to the next slide? With respect to that, now we have here the ethical review committees. Now, after you have a code of, ethical code and the conduct procedure, you try to form certain ethical review committees. Now, in this, we have four aspects. First one, institutional review boards. Institutional review boards, research ethics committees, honor codes and academic integrity policies, and transparency and accountability mechanisms. You develop these things. Now, you all know that, I need not to say that, I need not to remind, or I need not to tell you that what are the regulatory bodies are advocating, the UGC or AST. They're all, from time to time, even they have given directives, they have given guidelines to have these research ethic committees, institutional ethic committees. When it comes to institutional ethic committees, most of them feel that, this is something related to medical field or some science and technology field, because they have more, problems with relating to ethics and ethical ethics and values. No, it is not that. Yes, even medical and research and technology fields, they have, because certain bodies are there for exclusively for taking care of the science and technology and medical fields. But it is not confined to them only. No, this institutional ethical committees are must. The agency has made it must. They should have, apart from institutional ethical committees, they should have ombudsperson as well. It is very unfortunate that one of the research reports says that some 40 to 50% of private universities deemed to be universities, even some autonomous colleges and other institutions, government institutions as well, are not appointing ombudspersons, are not having institutional ethics committees, because they see that even though they have this research, even though they have this institutional ethics committees, it is just for the formality's sake, or the name's sake. They are having that committees where they don't properly function, or they don't, nominate a person who is really interested, really feel responsible, or really having given a significant role. That is how they are being nullified. So first one, you do have institutional committees. First one, what we are discussing is better you have First one, ethical review committees, like, institutional review boards. You have institutional review boards. These boards actually review research proposals to ensure that they meet ethical standards, particularly regarding participant consent, confidentiality, and safety. When you have, we will discuss about research, all these in detail in research ethics. What are the research ethics and how research ethics are dealt in institutions? That will be, we'll discuss broadly about that. Now, initially, what are the institutional review boards are, why they are constituted is there's to see that the research proposals to ensure that they meet ethical standards, particularly, I'm repeating it, regarding the participant consent, whether you're taking the participant consent to participate in the particular research, whether he has given his consent or not, how confidentiality is maintained, the information about the participants, whether the confidentiality is maintained or not, and what is the safety that is given to the participants. This has to be checked with institutional review boards, right? So next one is research ethic committees. You have research ethic committees. This is similar to institutional review boards. Like research ethic committees oversee the ethical conduct of research. What it is meant for is to see the ethical conduct of research, whether you are taking out your research in an ethical manner or not, ensuring compliance with ethical guidelines in specific academic and professional disciplines. Like, if you check with the universities, like in University of Delhi, or Jawaharlal Nehru University, or any other university, they have a very, very specific, ethical code of conduct with respect to this research, and see that they will, unless they comply with all the ethical guidelines, that project proposal or that particular research paper will not be allowed to publish. So this research ethic committees will ensure certain research guidelines are followed. Research ethical guidelines are followed with respect to any academic activity or the professional disciplines. I think if I tell you this with respect to the research ethic committees, most of the organizations, as far as my knowledge goes, my experience goes, I have come across with certain incidents where, the faculty are not at all, will not be following all these ethical guidelines. They will not comply with ethical guidelines. Even in my case also, I have come across with certain experience where I have sent my PhD findings to one of my friend so that we both can publish a paper. But what happened, I think you all might, at some point of time, you might have experienced this kind of things. Whom do you think the first name will be given in the publication? If there are two or three others. When I sent my to my friend after briefing, giving his slight briefing, so that he can just spice it up, and when he said he will send it for publication. Now, whom do you think will be given the first order and second order and third order in this in that particular article publication? When I sent my PhD, findings to one of my friends. I think you got my point, what I'm trying to say. Now, how do this? Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I should be the first author. This is what happened in reality. But my friend has put his name as the first author, and mine as the second, and the third one as somebody else. This is how it happens when you don't follow some ethical guidelines. There is always this kind of things taking place with respect to research articles, publication, or research proposals. In one of the other institutions, where I have experienced this kind of, it's an engineering college. It's an engineering college. It's a deemed university. It's a private, I think, deemed university. I actually worked for management department. Engineering college was given utmost importance there. The management college was seen is not seen as important as that in engineering branches. When they were asked for sending research proposals for UGC, very enthusiastically, two of our friends, along with me, we have designed a wonderful research project with respect to Road Transport Corporation in Andhra Pradesh, and expecting that research proposal will be accepted. We have sent it to the management. The management did not accept. The reason why, what they have said is, no, you management people will be given next time the chance. You will get a chance next time, not this time. We are giving importance this time for all engineering departments. This is what no, with a lot of interest, with a lot of enthusiasm, you might have developed a proposal. But when it has taken a backseat, when it's given a second priority or a third priority, or not no priority at all, what will be the interest? What will be the enthusiasm you feel in the next time? So this is how certain discrimination may also take place with respect to the ethics. Right. The third one, honor codes and academic integrity policies. Now you have to honor codes, whatever the codes that are developed with respect to ethics and ethical values and processes. You have to honor each and every person. There is no exception. As I told you, the top management who has designed them, they themselves should honor the codes. When they honor the codes, the rest of the people down the line, they automatically fall in line with the management, with the top people. When your chairman, when your managing director, or when your manager is following the timelines, he comes right on dot 9 o'clock and punches. Can you take excuse? Can you say? Can you ask for any excuses that I'm coming from a different place and different distant place? Please excuse me. I cannot punch the card. I cannot you know come at 9 o'clock sharply. No, you cannot ask at any point, because everyone has to comply with the rules. So honor codes and show certain integrity. Now, academic integrity policies are very important. When you have this review committees, the underlying the bottom line of any review committee should be integrity policies, right? And the last one is, as I told you in the previous slide quote, there was a quote, transparency and accountability mechanisms. When you have the transparency, there won't be any such problems. There won't be any such problems. Everything is clear, everything is vivid, everything you can see, right? And you know who is accountable. Accountability mechanisms. You cannot just take a decision and leave it and leave the result for some others. No. And you take a decision, you have to abide by that. Whatever the decision is taken, you are also into that. You are also going with that. Accountability. Most of the people, we all know that. Most of the people like authority, but they don't know. They don't like to take responsibility. That is the common problem with everyone. But accountability mechanisms should be also be very well defined. Now, who is accountable? For what he is accountable? And what is the accountability mechanism and the procedure? So that will give you a very clear understanding, right? So this is about ethical review committees. Ethical review committees. Madam, can we go to the next tool? Next slide, please. Now, this is another wonderful quote by none other than our most famous personality, Ratan Tata ji. None can destroy iron. None can destroy iron, but its own rust can. Yeah, we all know that, Likewise, no one can destroy a person, but their own mindset can. Right? This is another wonderful quote by Ratan Tata, most famous industrialist who recently passed away. Right. So no one can destroy an iron. Now, what do you understand by this? We'll discuss. Right. Madam, can we go to the next slide? This is the important part. Training and educational programs. Now, as just I told you, no one can destroy you. Who will destroy you? In the previous quote, we have seen Ratan Tata ji saying, now, Can we go to the previous slide, ma'am? Yeah, John Kennedy sir is very well, very good. Right. It is yourself. It is your own mindset. It is your own mindset. And this mindset is the one which is getting tuned in the educational institution. Right? You all agree with me, na? Our own mindset is the one which will either make or break a person. It will either, it will create wonders. It will bring out a wonderful personality, our own mindset. Otherwise, it will destroy the whole person. Now, with this quote, we can understand the importance of a teacher, a lecturer, or a faculty, the importance of a faculty and his teachings, how he is supposed to train his students, how the management has to train the faculty, how the staff and faculty has to train the students, and how the students will go into the society with wonderful mindsets and bring a beautiful society for all of us. It is all in these institutions, in these colleges, that takes place, how you're shaping the personalities, how you're shaping the mindset, how you're tuning the mindsets. For this, we are doing this tool. We are taking up this tool. Can we go to the next slide, man? So these mindsets can be trained and tuned, right, with right set of educational programs. Now, what are the training and educational programs will do? What do you mean by that? You need to have workshops and seminars, right? Workshops and seminars. And you need to have online modules, curriculum integration, curriculum integration, and promoting inclusivity and role modeling. Promoting inclusivity and role modeling. So the training and educational programs, you all know this. What is the role of training and educational programs is? Now, most of you also, I think you know this. Nowadays, they are not calling it the training. Can anyone tell me what they are calling it? What is the other name it is replaced by? Can the participants float their answers, please? Now, what is training? Instead of training, what they're calling is even in organizations, training departments we don't come across now. The name has changed. Orientation, human skill, workshops, skill development. Some more, please. Enrichment, HR. Thank you for all giving a lot of answers. I'm just waiting for the right word. Upskilling. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Learning. Somebody said learning. Yes, good. Learning and development. It is now called as learning and development, right? Most of the training and development departments are rechristened as learning and development. Now, we all know that this learning is not one-time activity. Do you agree with me? Learning is not one-time activity. Why instead of training, maybe training, if they say training may be for 1 week or 2 days or 5 days training, maybe ending up there. But when you say learning, no, learning is not a 2-day activity or a 1 week activity or even a 1 year activity. Learning is continuous activity. We all know that learning is continuous. When you say, I have learned everything, there is nothing to learn, then perhaps you are a person who has a stagnated mind. You have stopped growing. You have stopped developing. But learning is continuous. So in this kind of learning and educational programs, you tune the mindsets, you tune the behaviors, you give up a wonderful framing for the conduct and behaviors and attitudes. All these things will be changed. Now, with the help of workshops and seminars, and these programs are actually designed to educate students, faculty, staff, and about ethical principles, academic integrity, and professional conduct. What is professional conduct? And what is academic integrity is not only the words that should be learnt by faculty or students. No, it is must for every individual to learn in an organization. What is integrity? What is professional conduct? What are ethical principles? And when you say we are conducting workshops or we are conducting seminars or we are conducting learning and development programs, that should not confine to the faculty, that should not confine to the students, but each and every stakeholder. Even you can conduct to the parents, you can conduct to the society, you can conduct to the all the stakeholders. When I say the stakeholders word, you know that each and everyone comes into this part. Whoever is affected, whoever is involved, every person will be coming into this gambit, right? So all the stakeholders should be trained. When you train the parents, they will understand what are the ethical values the college is taking up, what are the value systems they are following. In line to that, they will also try to reinforce at their homes, and they will check that their words are really following the ethical standards or not. So workshops and seminars are not exclusively meant for faculty. It is for everyone, right? So online modules, what are the online modules? Nowadays, we have more and more online courses coming up. You know, many institutions nowadays, they offer online courses or modules that cover topics at plagiarism prevention. How do plagiarism can be prevented? How ethical decision making and research ethics can be conducted? And more importantly, decision making. When even in the last seminar which Rani and College has conducted, I emphasized decision making process. When you have ethical decision making, nothing stops you. You need not look back because you are very much sure that you are taking a decision which is having ethical guidelines, which is falling into ethical guidelines. So, ethical decision making, how it has to be taken, how it has to be decided, you need to train the students. You need to make them learn the importance of ethical decision making. So, that is how you're trying to, shape the mindsets. You're trying to tune the mindsets, right? Next one is curriculum integration. Now, what is curriculum integration with respect to learning and training and educational programs? Ethical training is often integrated into courses across various disciplines. That is what is it meant, right? Integration into courses across various disciplines. Now, you cannot have this ethics as a separate subject for every course. No, ethics should as a component should be there in every subject. It is not every course. No, every course means, in VTech, in the first year or in the first semester or second semester, you'll be having ethics as one subject. They will teach ethics and they will forget. Within the first semester itself, all the course contents or all the syllabus will be forgotten by all the students. When they come into the second semester, no one remembers what are ethics. And that is not the way of teaching ethics. Now you have to integrate into curriculum in every subject, in every course, in every semester possibly, or like an audit course or simple module. In some way, you incorporate it, right? In medical ethics or in business ethics or in various disciplines, in all colleges, in all courses, curriculum should be integrated with respect to ethics and ethical trainings. So this is important aspect of integration, curriculum integration. And lastly, promoting inclusivity and role modeling. Now you all know the importance of role modeling is. We all talk about mentoring, right? Training in cultural competency and mentoring is the important element in promoting inclusivity and role modeling. Now, what is inclusivity? Yesterday, Dr. John Mitchell has given a wonderful example of inclusivity. Now, you have India is a wonderful country which is having various cultures, different languages, and different religions, a lot of castes and a lot of regions, all these things, people in South, they come from people, the institutions in South, they attract students from all parts of the India as well as outside India. You know, inclusivity, you have wonderful, cultural, cultural integrity. You have a lot of cultures coming in. You need to have wonderfully designed inclusivity promoting programs. No discrimination, whether it is with respect to gender or with respect to region, with respect to color and creed or religion. No, inclusivity should be promoted, and this can be done with the help of training. You need to train the students. Very unfortunate, you also might have experienced a lot of such things in various things. No, let us not talk about negative aspects. Well, let's see. I always like to talk about promoting positivity. When you have the positivity and train the students in with positive minds, to have positive minds, to develop positive minds, then this achieving inclusivity is not a difficult task. You can easily achieve when you allow the students, all the students from different sections of society, different regions, different parts of the world, to sit in the same classroom, in the same bench, in the same atmosphere. There won't be any problem at all when they go out. When they mm, uh, when they go out of the college. Uh, Now they are fully grown. They are fully grown. They have very objective view of society. They'll be definitely having a wonderful, a wonderful self. They will break all barriers. There won't be any barriers at all. Very well said, sir. Kennedy, John Kennedy, sir. So this is how you try to bring out inclusivity. For that, you need to be a role model as a faculty, as a teacher, as a promoter. You need to play a role model. You know, you in that way only you will try to you see a lot of change in students when you show that particular role model. The students automatically get tuned to your personality. They will take you as their role model, right? That is how mentoring helps. That is how mentoring helps. So once this is achieved, I think there won't be any problem in society. There won't be any kind of moral policy or any kind of thing that comes in society. There won't be any need. So what I would like to say at the end is, it is all you who are going to train your students in the way you want to see them in the society in future, right? So can we go to the next slide? Thank you all. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your response. Another tool that you need to um, promote in your institution is whistleblowing protection and reporting. How many of you, or how many of you, all the participants have heard about this whistleblower concept? Many of us have learned what is the importance of whistleblowing. Whistleblowing has led to lots of development, lots of changes in society, institutions. That whistleblowing culture has to be promoted and protected. Once you do that, the problems in your organization, you need not to face them, you need not to review them. They automatically will come to you because you are promoting a whistleblowing culture in your organization, in your institution. So when you have that kind of protected system for whistleblowing personalities, whistleblowers, then automatically the reporting will be easy. Reporting will be easy, and you will try to come out with a lot of good initiatives, good innovative activities activities, right? So even in organizations they have this whistleblower concept, and certain whistleblowers will be felicitated or even they will get recognized. That is how, yeah, very good. Thank you. Assange is Julian Assange was a whistleblower. Many people, you need not, even in our places also, if it is whether you call it as whistleblowing or not, when Tata instead of Tata uh, Tata organization, telco, engineering, Tata Engineering organization, which was actually initially taking only engineers with a gender bias, only male. You all know that, I think. Sudha Narayanamurthy, Madam Sudha Narayanamurthy, Ms. Narayanamurthy's wife, has wrote, when she applied, she was rejected, it seems. In one of the, somewhere I have read it, when she has applied for a post in telco, she was rejected for this particular position, citing, I mean, maybe she thought that maybe because they were all only male, male people. So she wrote to the top management directly a mail. She sent a mail to the top management saying that why she was rejected, why a female candidate could not be accepted in a great organization like Tata. That email, that letter has changed the perception of telco. Immediately, they have given her a position in the telco, in the Tata organization. So she was actually, maybe, I think, I don't know whether it's right or wrong. Maybe she is the one who has she has played a whistleblower role. She brought out a point which was for many years, which was actually ignored or neglected or overseen. That maybe females are not could not be made eligible for engineering jobs. She has changed the perception of Tata's, and she has got the job, and she has taken various different positions, I suppose. So that is the whistleblower protection and reporting. Whistleblower concept has to be accepted, right? Now, what is the whistleblower? You all know that anonymous reporting system. You need to have a, channel for students, faculty, or staff to report ethical violations. What are the violations taking place in the organization, or some misconducts, confidentially or anonymously. Confidentially and anonymously. Then only people will come forward with their actual scenarios in the institution. There won't be any kind of threat. There won't be any kind of problem for the whistleblower. Next one is whistleblower protections. These policies ensure that individuals who report unethical behavior or problems from any kind of retaliation. When you know that who has reported, who has complained, who has brought some misconduct to the management notice, naturally the accused or the person who is has done some misconduct will try to retaliate with the person who has complained. So you need to have some protection. Unfortunate to say that many organizations they don't have this protection procedures. Institutions, not only institutions, even the government organizations, they don't follow certain protection procedures. Well, some police departments they definitely follow protection procedures when they, some theft or some kind of social problem or some kind of misbehavior or something takes place in somewhere. Actually, police departments will give you a wonderful protection for the whistleblowers. Similarly, even organizations has to follow or should come up with certain protection procedures. Now, this is what I want to tell you. The whistleblower concept is, and disciplinary processes. Now, uh, I think many of us have seen, complaint boxes in every organization. You have a grievance box, grievance redressal procedure, or complaint box. Most of the organizations, even public public offices, public transports, or even railways, all these people, they have this complaint boxes. How many complaints are properly addressed or or have taken proper action? I wonder. I don't know how many of really go through the each and every complaint and address each and every complaint. I don't know how many organizations take the complaint box very seriously, or very strictly follow this complaint checking box. Now, if they take that, then there will be some good disciplinary processes, executing. They will be taking some disciplinary processes. That will be that complaint or suggestion boxes will make possible disciplinary actions, disciplinary activity coming up. When that disciplinary activity is taken, now more people will come forward with some whistleblowing, right? So ensure proper disciplinary processes are followed, executed, and reported back to the persons who are compliant. Let them know that. Let them know that for that complaint, this is the action taken, or this is the process we have followed to address your complaint. So we have addressed your suggestion. So let them know this is what is the transparency is. This is what is the process that should be followed is. Now, the next one is public discourse. Now you need to have a public discourse about this. Many a time, it will be put in the notice board itself for that particular uh, whistleblowing concept, for the complaint or suggestion. This is what is we have taken action. That kind of public discourse is very well acknowledged or entertained. Madam, can we go to the next slide, please? Now, as I was telling in the previous slides, ethics committees for decision making. This is very important. These ethic committees should not be, as I told you, should not be made as a formality for the namesake. No, there should be ethic committees which they really take decisions, and that decisions are implemented. Right. So for these ethic committees, we have certain elements: ethics advisory committees, role in governance, conflict of interest resolution procedures. Now, ethic advisory committees will give you advisory boards or guidelines or complex ethical dilemmas that are faced by faculty, students, or administrators will be addressed by these advisory committees. Now, every organization, they can have this. This is a wonderful tool, even irrespective of the size of the organization or the type of the organization, right? You need to have ethical advisory committees. Even a small institution, when it establishes a committee or advisory board, now, if they are vested with certain powers or with certain good, procedures that can be executed, the faculty, students, or administrators, whenever they face any ethical dilemmas, any complex problems, they will go to the advisory committees. They will talk to them. And these advisory committees will give you a lot of good suggestions, good procedures that can be followed and that can be addressed. What are the concerns you are facing? What are the ethical dilemmas you are facing? That can be really a good solution for most of the institutions. I don't know why most of even a small or a big organization, they look this advisory committees, ethics advisory committees, as a dysfunctional or not so important or not so significant bodies. No, try it. Once you try it, you will see a change, wonderful change you can witness with these advisory committees. Now, next one is role in governance. These committees might also, have to review institutional policies. They are given in the advisory committees, or these ethics committees are given a role in governance they're not simply confined to one department or they're given a small room and is in some nook and corner, and one table or some chairs have been put as some insignificant people, people who doesn't have any interest in ethical concepts and ethical procedures or ethics in organization will be put into that particular role. Then definitely that committee would not be any kind of use for you. No, no. When you have these ethic committees playing an important role in governance, the whole organizational governance, you will see a lot of wonderful changes. These committees might also review institutional policies. No, they're given a role to check with institutional policies and or cases involving conflicts of interest. Conflicts of interest, and you have fairness problems, fair conduct problems, ethical challenges related to campus culture or community issues. All these things will be addressed when you have these ethics committees given a role in governance. Definitely, they will change all these concepts. They will see that there is a fairness in every action, every decision, and they will see that all ethical challenges which are related to campus or culture or community, they properly addressed. The top management will take lot of uh, free time. They can be more relaxed when you're giving this ethic committees some responsibility, some authority to play an important role. So that is how the role in governance will help you, will help the top management as well as departmental heads as well. Fine. And lastly, conflict of interest resolution procedures. Conflict of interest resolution procedures. Now, what is this conflict interest resolution procedure? Is you have a lot of conflicts. You know, is any organization free of conflicts? Is any institution, you say there are no conflicts of interest? Can anyone tell? Can any person, can anyone who is working or who is studying or who is doing any service say that they have never experienced any conflict in my organization? My organization is conflict free. Can anyone tell? No, no one did. If there is no conflict, means there is definitely a problem. That itself is a big problem. If they say, I don't have any problem in my organization, that very word itself is connotes that there is a big problem there, right? So conflict of interest. What are the conflicts of interest? Various interests. It is your career interest. It is your personal interest. It is your financial interest. It is your academic interest. It is your social interest. Lot of interests. There are conflicts, one person to person, department to department, or college to college, institution to institution. You have a lot of conflicts of interest. All these conflicts, how do you resolve? Lay down procedures. You take the help of ethic committees, which will decide how to resolve, how to develop a procedure to address these conflicts. So these conflict of interest resolution procedures, when they are very well laid down, very well framed, there won't be any kind of adversities or any kind of problems, any kind of issues. Even if issues cropped in, you can easily check with the previous conflict resolution procedures which were followed in the similar situation and easily address the same thing. So that is how interest resolution procedures will help you address various problems relating to various conflicts. Madam, can we go to the next slide? And next tool, I would suppose, is student and faculty ombudspersons. We all know this concept. We are familiar with this concept. You all know who is an ombudsperson, right? So this ombudspersons, as I told you, UGC has given a direction saying that as I told you earlier, that every organization, every institution, irrespective of the size of the institution or the type of the institution, they all should have ombudspersons. A retired person, a retired vice chancellor or a professor with 10 years experience, a person with legal or some kind of knowledge in legal procedures are actually um, uh, you know um, are said to be taking up this ombudsman persons, are said to be appointed as per the UGC guidelines. But unfortunately, as I told you, in 2023 December report of UGC says that some 30 to 40% colleges or private universities deemed to be universities and some other government colleges, they have not appointed an ombudsperson. No, that is the seriousness of institutions which are taking, you know, uh, which are taking some decisions to address the grievance redressals or to address the grievances. So, what is this role of ombudsperson? They are this ombudsperson is supposed to be an independent person who is impartial as an impartial officer who mediates conflicts and disputes. He's a mediator. He who mediates conflicts and disputes and offers confidential advice. They all also offer confidential advice and helping individuals navigate any ethical issues within the institution. This person is supposed to be functioning within the institution, right? So they are independent. They should be given an independent charge. And this officer has to be very impartial. Impartial, you understand it, he has to be impartial. And he has the ability to mediate conflicts and disputes. Such a person who can offer advice and help the individuals with all kinds of ethical issues will be appointed or should be appointed as ombudsperson. So that is the role of ombudsperson. How many of you have come across with ombudsperson in your organizations? Can you tell me? The participants, how many of you, if you are working for an institution or a college, do you have this ombudsperson there? Yeah, I have worked in some 3, 4 colleges. I have not seen any ombudsperson, unfortunately. Maybe UGC has given direction way back, 10 years back, I suppose, that they should be having from 10 years onwards. They are insisting all the colleges they should have ombudsperson. But most of the institutions they neglect. They don't show that much of interest to, because they feel that some third person is coming into your organization and taking all the information away. No, it is not that. You should see that at least you should have your own person who is retired from your organization, from your institution, and who is very good in dealing with such conflicts and disputes can be appointed as an ombudsperson who knows in and outs of your institution. Right? A retired person, a retired vice chancellor, or a retired professor can be given a charge, right? And the next one is dispute resolution. Well, uh, um, most of you are responding, yes, yes. Dispute resolution. Ombudsperson actually provides a neutral space for resolving concerns which are related to ethical practices, right? Such as academic disputes, harassments, or faculty-student conflicts. We all know that these days, a lot of faculty-student conflicts are also taking place. Not only faculty-student conflicts are also there. Harassments of all types, student harassment and faculty harassing students, students harassing faculty, academic disputes. We discussed certain disputes earlier. So all these things can be resolved with respect to the dispute resolution. Ombudspersons will help us providing a neutral space for resolving all these concerns. So every organization should have, UGC is taking punitive actions, saying that whichever institutions are not having ombudspersons or not abiding by this direction of UGC to have an ombudsperson, are listed out and sure and publicly, they are notifying in their websites as well, saying that so and so institution is deviating from the direction of UGC, and we are not taking. We are they are going and they are taking certain actions like cutting funds. That kind of thrust, that kind of importance, that kind of forcefully they are trying to make institutions or colleges to appoint to see that appointing ombudspersons. So that is the importance the regulatory bodies are giving for student redressal or faculty redressal or even all kind of grievance redressal procedures. Madam, can we go to the next slide, please? Finally, those are the tools which I just discussed, all the tools. And finally, sustaining a culture of integrity, sustaining a culture of integrity. And what are the best practices? And now what are the next steps? And ongoing evaluation. You need to have ongoing evaluation. You decide a particular ethical procedure, a code of conduct, and you forget for ages or for years or for centuries. That doesn't work. You need to evaluate from time to time. That is ongoing evaluation has to take place. When you have ethic committees, you have advisory committees, and you have certain boards established, they will take action. They will take that particular activity of ongoing evaluation. So this has to be evaluated from time to time. What kind of best practices that need to be followed? When societies keep changing, when cultures keep changing, when behaviors and values keep changing, you need to change your ethical codes, ethical code of conducts. So that is what is ongoing evaluation has to take place. And third, next one is continuous improvement. You need to improve yourself with respect to ethical procedures, with respect to value systems. Now, what kind of improvements and what kind of checks you need to put is with respect to faculty, with respect to students, all the staff members, what activities they are taking up, whether some improvement has taken place or not. If it is not taken, now what kind of action need to be taken? That all things has to be continuously monitored, continuously checked up. So a continue this uh, culture of integrity concept is not something which is stagnant or which is constant. It keeps on changing. So values, how what kind of values should be incorporated when you have different culture people coming into your organization from different parts of the world? What kind of improvements that need to be taken up? Now you have rural students from rural background, rural areas. You have students from, very well developed lands, well regions. They are there, and you have students from different states. Different states they're also coming. So when you have a cross culture, a cross section of people like this, students like this, you need to have a continuous improvement system established, right? And next one is collaborative partnerships. Collaborative partnerships. Now, this is another important concept. I think we'll discuss collaborations, how collaborations will work for institutions in developing wonderful, principles, procedures, and different value systems that we'll definitely discuss in later classes. But here, the collaborative partnerships for culture integrity. This collaboration will give you uh, greater insights, greater insights, and modern developments taking place in society. So how those things can be brought into your organization? How those concepts can be brought into your organization with respect to developing a wonderful culture in your organization, in your institution. You're having how to have wonderful integrity, acceptable integrity, or flourishing integrity in your institution. That can be achieved when you collaborate with certain organizations. They will tell you perhaps there was some X organization in, if you are operating in Karnataka, there is a very wonderful college which was very highly successful in with respect to one particular ethical practice in some part of Rajasthan. You can collaborate with that institution and take some inputs from that institution. Their faculty or the management or some people will come to your organization and will train you, will make you learn how they have imbibed certain value systems in their organization, and the similar things can be adopted in your organization. So that kind of collaborations will help you, or that kind of partnerships will help you develop a sustainable culture of integrity and the best practices which are successful. You all know this concept of benchmarking. You can benchmark. You can benchmark wonderful practices, best practices, with the help of collaboration. That collaboration will give you understanding and ease. You need not take pains of developing by your own resources, limited resources. Perhaps you are having limited resources, or either human resources or material resources. But when you collaborate, that other partnership, that other partner of yours will give you that resource. You need not break your brains. You need not put all your hardships into that. Already successful best practice can be adapted, right? So that is how the best practices with respect to sustaining culture of integrity can be partnered. Last one is shared responsibility. When you share the responsibility, your burden gets reduced. Now, you alone cannot shoulder everything in an organization. When you share it with other departments, and the departments will share with the faculty, and the faculty will share with their students. When you have this kind of a sharing culture, the responsibilities will be eased. The accountability will be very much easily accepted. You can accept responsibility because everyone is a part of it. Everyone is sharing it. Now you develop that kind of a culture. When you develop that kind of a culture, any ethical principle or any ethical procedure can be easily implemented, can be successfully implemented, can be carried out forward for centuries, right? There won't be any problem because a lot of sharing is taking place, right? So best practices can be shared, best procedures can be adopted, and all these things can be easily implemented in your organization. The only thing that you need to have is that initiative, that tempo, that enthusiasm, that your organization should be known for values. In admissions, we have a value system. In classroom delivery, we have a value system. In dealing with the student affairs, we have a value system. We have ethics here. That kind of a promotion of values in your organization, that kind of a promoting ethics in your organization will give you a wonderful social responsibility concept. Whenever there is a problem with respect to your institution, the public will come to your rescue. The society will come to you, will stand with you, saying that we know that institution, we know that college, and we are going to support that college. We are going to support in any aspect of that college because we know that college. So, because public also, the society is also sharing the responsibility. You have given the society also that responsibility. You have made the society to collaborate with you, to partner with you, right? So, in cases of calamities, in cases of trials and any problems, the society will also stand with you. So, this is what is sustaining a culture of integrity. You are not alone, or you are not aloof. You are not in a solitude. You are not away from the society. You are a part of society. The students, the faculty, the staff, and every person. You take some activities outside also with other institutions also, with NGOs, collaborating with NGOs. Here, I would like to bring forward Globe Ethics. Globe Ethics is a wonderful organization. You can collaborate. Globe Ethics is there for every aspect to help you, give you guidelines, give you a wonderful partnership, give you some kind of hints and tips and procedures which will continuously try to help you improve yours. There are wonderful resources which will help your institution develop this kind of ethical values. And as a resource persons, we are trying to give you a simple, like a kind of lecture here. But when you associate, when you partnership, or when you collaborate with Global Ethics as an entity, as an organization, you can achieve things easily. You can achieve things easily. A lot of helping hands are there. A lot of resources are there. You can utilize. You can take help of that. And certainly, when you have these ethics committees, ethics advisory boards, and you make some people get involved into that also, they'll give you the procedures. They will give you some easy steps to
Sir, we can't hear you. Sir, we can't hear you. We lost him. I think he get back.
Rajula, maybe you could take a feedback from everyone. I think there is a network problem there.
Okay, would you like to come in and give your thoughts about his presentation today?
No, I think there are a lot of faculty.
He's back. Sir is back. Sir has come.
Okay, fine.
Goodwin, sir?
I think he's still having a technical problem.
Okay.
So why don't we invite questions and
Yeah, there are already
feedback.
questions around, I think 10 to 15 questions are there.
Sir is back.
Yeah, he's back.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Hey, ma'am,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think this got disconnected. Sorry for that. Hello? Hello?
No issues, sir. Please
Am I
continue.
audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You are audible.
Go to the last slide, and I'm trying to close now. I think last slide, ma'am. I think finished. I think I have finished this. Next slide. Yeah. So this is all what I want to share with you. The importance of ethics in educational institution, understanding the role of custodian, and what are the tools for custodianship. I told you various tools that I suppose which can be very much helpful in making this custodianship role easy when you follow certain tools, right? So with all these things, I would like to conclude, and I thank Dr. Darlene Selving Madam, Raniana College, and Rajula Madam, and Globe Ethics for giving me this opportunity. I also thank our course curator, John Mithushala, for inviting me here. And now I would like to invite questions, if any. I would like to answer any questions from the participants, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable information and the input you have shuffled so far. So we have a few questions to be answered. First two questions relates to the teaching community. How can teachers balance academic excellence with the moral and ethical development of students? How can teachers balance academic excellence with the moral and ethical development of students? And the next question is that too related to teaching professionals only. What are some common ethical dilemmas faced by teaching professionals and how should they handle them? Both the
Yeah, the
questions.
first question,
John Kennedy.
yeah, ma'am.
Uh,
That first question, can you come again, ma'am?
How can teachers balancing between academic excellence with the moral and ethical development of students? How a teacher balance between academia and
Once, yes, ma'am. Yes, a very nice question. It is pretty easy, ma'am. Uh, if the faculty is having a wonderful command on the subject he or she is teaching, when you go to the classroom, automatically the class gets silenced because they know what you're going to deliver and how effectively the delivery is going to be. So have command on the subject. So the academic part is very well will be addressed. Every student will, you can very much experience. You can see that a person who is very knowledgeable and highly very good at delivery, the content which is he is going to or she is going to give to the class will be very attentive. They will show a lot of interest to listen. So in that way, your academic interest and the student's academic capacity will also be matching and developing, right? When you have that role model capacity along with the along with that particular content delivery capacity, you are showing some good role model behavior. Students will take you as example. Automatic, you need not take any separate steps or separate procedures or separate subjects or separate elements to teach them. You himself or you herself will be a great example what kind of behavior they will. Most of the students will try to imitate their faculty, their style of behavior, their style of talking, their style of attitudes. They try to take them as a role model. So you can balance. You try to balance with these two things. When you get some, very frustrated, you're very angry with the student, for instance. Now, how do you express your anger? One simple example. How do you express? The student is not properly behaving, or the student is creating nuisance in the classroom. Now, how do you address that particular problem? Addressing is you do it in different styles. Every faculty has a different style of addressing that particular problem. Now, the way you you know address that particular student, or the way you solve that particular issue itself is an example. The student will learn from you. If you shout in the class,
simply by being the role model, we can balance ourselves between academia and the ethical behavior. Then the next question is for the administrator. How can administrators ensure that ethical practice are consistently followed across an institution? The next one also for the same administrators. What are the emerging challenges in maintaining code of ethics and conduct in the rapidly changing educational landscape? Both are for administrators only.
Yeah, for administrators, they have this is a continuous process, ma'am. We have to continue. The gentleman or the lady who has asked for this question. This is a continuous process. You cannot simply, as I told you in this presentation, simply lay down some ethical procedures and sit back and relax. No, you cannot do that. It is a continuous process. A continuous monitoring should be done. So, and how these problems are being addressed, you need to have these ethical committees. Students can be formed as ethical committees with student panels. The students who are well matured, who have a balance of mind, a good behavior, a good value system, you identify them, 3 or 4 of them, you will form them as ethical members of ethical committee. The classroom itself, you get problems get solved and record all those things, each problem, how it has been solved. You maintain record of all such things. When you have certain problems in some other sections, try to refer that. In that way, you can continuously monitor and take forward these things. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So next question is from Dr. Batmavati. Is it good to go against management if they have ethics only for documents purposes and not in practical? Is it good to go against management if they deviate?
It's everybody's problem, man.
Yeah,
every
it's a
institution.
common issue. So
You
next
know,
question is whether ethics to be inculcated.
I would like to answer that also.
Okay, okay.
When you join an organization, any organization, it is in industry or it is a service organization or like education institution, the first thing the people of the institution will do is give you some orientation, right? What is this organization is all about, how the management functions, what are their principles and what are their values and what are their various systems. They will try to orient to you, orientation. Even students get oriented to the college systems. Initially, when they join, orientation classes will be taking place. Similarly, any employee when join an organization, first they have to check whether that particular value system is matching with their value system or not. When you match and most of the things are matching with each other, you continue working in that organization. But when you know that your value systems are not aligning with the management's, the institution's value system, the management's value systems, perhaps you have to check whether it continued or not. If you continue, definitely you will have this kind of problems. Then you will have the consequences will be different. You cannot sustain. You will have definitely try to oppose the management, and the management will definitely tell you, will ask you also, don't you know before joining that this is the system which is prevailing this organization? Why did you join here? That question may come. So better you check, Dr. Padmavati, madam. I think this is very same problem. Every individual, even me also, I have left certain organizations because of that only. Yeah, ma'am. Next one.
Dr. Goodwin, can I add one word on this?
Yeah, sure. Dr. Medushala, please.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Actually, this is a wonderful question. This is a persisting question also. So I would like to add to what Dr. Goodwin has said. There is a culture of confrontation and a culture of collaboration. I think we need to, decide between whether we are going to confront the organization, leave the organization, or collaborate with the organization. Or there is a fourth way. Can we actually try and have a dialogue? Yesterday we talked about this dialogue with the organization and then convince them that they can still be ethical. So that is where I would like to leave Dr. Goodwin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, even yesterday or some other time I have come across another question like, the students who does not perform well in internal exams are also asked to be given good marks by the faculty. The management, forces them to give marks. What do you do in such situations? Whether your integrity, your conscience will not agree. Why a person, why a student who has not done well in internal exams, or sometimes is absent also, should be given a pass mark or more marks or equal to that of a bright student? How do you handle this? How do you handle this? Do you simply say that I will not do when the management asks you?
Yeah.
This is a common problem in most of that. Even I also faced. Now what do you do? Any participants?
So next question is whether ethics to be inculcated at school level or higher educational level. So it's absolutely needed in all levels, right from school itself.
Every level. Yeah. No exception. No. Every level.
So the next question is, are the managements aware of the ethical review committees? And if so, do they have students representatives in it? So already told the answer for this.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, sir. So definitely the students should also be included in that committee. And then the next
Students
question
also a
is,
part.
yeah, how can organizations measure the effectiveness of learning and development programs?
It all depends on
measure. So it depends.
it all depends on the content, ma'am.
Yeah.
Content and the person delivering the content. It all depends on that. If you have a very contemporary contents, very contents which are focusing for the future learning, that sort of contents will definitely encourage the learners to be more active in the learning process. But when you take the content or when you frame an objective that is actually, uh, expired or doesn't exist in the present day, that content or that particular objective of the program will not be fruitful, will not be working. So it is all about how you design the content.
Another thing is the autonomous colleges may have their own contents, but those affiliated colleges have to depend on the universities, so they have to follow what is delivered by them. So that's also another point.
Yes, ma'am. True.
Yeah. Next question is, sir, sustaining a culture integrity is the best policy in ethics, but it needs courage, trust, and impartial. As you told, is it possible in the existing situation, or do we need to create an awareness for it? Sustaining a culture integrity.
Yeah, that's a good question. The point which was catching me is courageous. It's true. It's very true. The management has to be very courageous to take up this particular ethical and moral values in their organization, because it calls for a lot of problems. It calls for why most of the institutions are not having ombudsperson. Why tell me, is it really a new thing that I have told you that our colleges need to have ethics committees? Most of the colleges know that, but they don't take it seriously, because if they have ethics committees, they will run parallelly with the management, saying that this is good or this is bad, this is not right, this is bad. Management doesn't like that. So the managements need to have courage, as well said by the participant. The managements which do have the courage to have this kind of system will continue and will take up this for the long time. Sustainability will be achieved only by the management's philosophy. They can make it possible.
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir, for the very good session. We got a deep insight on the topic, the understanding role of custodianship, tools, and collaborations for ethics in higher education through policy development, oversight, and enforcement, and accountability and transparency. The preparation and presentation of PPT itself is novel and attractive for us, sir. It's really good.
Thank you, ma'am.
You stressed that it's not only the responsibility of the management or administrators, but it is the ultimate responsibility of the faculty, staff members, and students, or the custodians. Then regarding the tools, the code of ethics, ethical review committees, training and development, whistleblowers, everything are real insight for us. A lack of transparency result in distrust and deep sense of integrity is really gives us a warning bell towards the implementation of ethical behavior to ponder on. None can destroy but its own trust can. The act code cited by you will be lingering in our minds forever. The essence of conducting training and development is clearly explained, along with the need of being a role model. The task of being a whistleblower, though it's a challenging one, we came to know the absolute need for it in shaping the students' community. So certainly, we will play a major role on it. Though different redressal mechanisms are followed in various institutions in different ways, proper follow procedure is always scanty and it's far from reality. And we will try to make it up this issue to implement the same in the forthcoming days. Finally, you concluded that integrity is a journey and not a destination. We are just the travelers to pass on the valuable message of integrity through our actions and reactions and by joining hands with others too in terms of collaboration. I'm immensely thankful to you, Dr. Godwin, for sparing your precious time from your busiest schedule to grace this course. Thanks for your patience and scholarly reflections and expertise in answering the queries raised by the participants. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events and in our day-to-day life. We look forward for many more opportunities to listen to your valuable knowledge. Thank you very much, sir, from the bottom of our hearts. Over to you,
Thank you,
Raj.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goodwin, and also thank you, Dr. Darling Selvi. And once again, I reiterate here that this effort is taken by the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Raniana Government College of Women, Tirunelveli, and also Global Ethics Academy based in Geneva, Switzerland. We thank each and every one of you for sparing your time, and we'll try to finish the program by the time, as we have mentioned. I think some people have other works and hope, but the learning was very good since there are a lot of questions. So we would like to answer also. And another thing regarding the feedback, there are so many queries, and I have been informing each time that we are doing a pre-survey, and the questionnaire link was shared with everyone by email, and some of you have submitted, and you can check your email. The link will be there. Please submit the pre-survey, and we are taking the attendance from the Zoom report every day, and we will know when you are joining and when you are leaving. And also there will be a post FDP survey that will be after all the FDP is over, and also there will be a feedback. So when you complete all these three, then you will get your certificate, and we are sure you will get your certificate, and some of you are attending today. So you will get the certificate for the number of days that you are attending this FTP. And I'm sure you're having meaningful learning with us. And tomorrow also we have another expert speaker addressing another important topic. And probably Dr. Goodwin will be addressing on one more day, 1 or 2 more days, I think, sir.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and hope you had good time. Thank you so much, and see you all tomorrow exactly at 6 p.m. IST. And today I could
Monday.
see one, 6 p.m.
Some
IST. Sorry, tomorrow we don't have. Thank you, ma'am, for reminding. Tomorrow Sunday we don't have any FDP, and it was intimated in the Zoom link email itself. Plus, we have not created any link for tomorrow. In case by mistake you get it from us, please ignore. Tomorrow there is no meeting, and we'll see you all on Monday at 6 p.m. Thank you.